What's up guys, it's Unders, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how I'm using things like Instagram stories and YouTube stories, vertical video, to help grow my followings on places like Apple Music and Spotify. Let's get into it.
I'm independent, I don't need no deal. I'm jaws on the beat, I got a flow that kills. Do my thing with a few G's, Lauryn Hill.
And a big thanks to DistroKid for sponsoring this video today. So vertical video and stories, whatever you want to call it, is something that's grown the last few years and is really here to stay. And we now see it on native Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and even here on YouTube. And it's all got various forms, but now that there are so many places that you can have vertical video, and also take note of the fact that it's super easy to do now as well, it's actually worth creating some, or at least some promo videos that you can reuse on these platforms, as many of them are ad platforms and they allow you to then push and promote your music as well. So before we dive into the video aspects of it, there's some key things we need to have in place. One of the most important things is having one single link that allows you to promote your music on all other platforms, as you can often only promote a single link via these platforms, and you can't instead pitch out all of the other platforms that you're after. For example, Instagram only allows a single link out, and with a video, it can only swipe up to one individual location. This is transcended to be the norm across all of these platforms. If you're using DistroKid, the moment you finish uploading a track, you get something called a hyperfollow link. This link links out to all of the platforms that track is going to be distributed to. It also allows you to tie your socials into that link, as well as a one-on-one chat. So by posting that link out and having that link as the ready one to go out, the target audience can in fact then choose their desired platform, but they can also find you on the other media platforms just via the one individual link. And that's a completely free feature inside DistroKid. If you're not using DistroKid, you absolutely need to find some other way of doing these kinds of link trees. Another great benefit of the hyperfollow on DistroKid is when your track finally goes live, because yes, we can promo, get follows and interaction before that's happened, it will automatically update with all of the links in the appropriate places. Okay, for the video aspect of it, well, it really depends on how you want to do it. What I've had success with is what I'll pop up on the screen just next to me now, is using basically a clip from a music video, or maybe even just something related if you don't have a music video, and simply putting the track name, the artist name, and in my case, I've been putting follow on Spotify, even though it's going out to people who might want to follow in other places. It doesn't matter so much, because if they think, well, they'll have a look on Spotify, and they open up their link and see, well, I use Apple Music and the link is there ready for them, that's where they're jumping on board. And I've been having great success with this format. Other formats I've seen are a simple hold the phone up and talk to the camera kind of video, explaining what the new track's about, what it is, and what's happening with it. So once you've created a video like this, well, how do we then promote it? Well, for that, we need to dive a little bit deeper. And I'm going to show you one way we can do it in the Facebook system, which allows us to then use Facebook stories and Instagram stories. So for this, let's dive into the computer and I'll explain the best I can how we can use that platform. Okay, so the place that most of this is going to be handled from is on actually Facebook's website, but you've got a back end side to it. If you've got an artist page or something like that created under your Facebook profile, there's a way that you can use that to post things to Instagram and the stories pages and things like that. It's all handled under this business.facebook.com. You need to make sure on the right hand side here you're logged in under the correct account, and any things that you manage are going to show up on here. Now we're going to do this as if it was from the Unders account. However, I usually manage everything from Warrior Sound, which is the business account, and Warrior Sound also has permission to post on the Unders account. So in my case, I could go into Warrior Sound and I'm still going to be able to control everything on here. If you haven't created yourself a Facebook fan page yet, I suggest going to facebook.com/pages/create, and here you can build yourself a page linked to your own account. So what we want to do, we want to create a post that's going to go to our Instagram and our Facebook stories. On the left hand side, we've got published, scheduled and ad posts. If we have a look at ad posts, we can see some of the video ads that I've had run before.
Heavy, and now I'm steady, going up and hitting the ground.
As you can see, it's just a regular post, but the way it's designed and you push it out to the correct place. If it was to be posted elsewhere, it still comes up with the listen now, for example. This one here is particularly successful, and you can see it picked up 42,000 views, which in turn has translated into thousands of streams as well. Here you can see the 2 advertising periods I ran. So I had my initial release and my own push, then an advertising period here which slopes off, and then another little push here just at the start of the year as we were going into lockdown, and I changed promotion method and release schedule for the year. So you can see visibly the stats and impact, and this is just on Spotify. When you take into account the other platforms, my most lucrative is actually Apple Music. So how do we create something like this? Well, the temptation would be to do create post. However, there's a much better way to do it that gets a much better result. And quite simply, if we go up here, we need to get into our ads manager. At the moment, my delivery says account error for everything because I'm simply not running any ads and I haven't reset my spend limit. However, the only thing that I had running previously was the Spotify traffic that we've just seen. Now, what we would do is we would create an ad in here. So we would go hit create, and what we actually want traffic, not lead generation or anything like that. We want people to see that ad who are likely to click on it, because the conversion and follow-on side really comes down to our ad and whether or not they're going to enjoy our music. As you saw with that previous ad, the more people that clicked on it, the more data Facebook then had, and it was able to push out to like 40,000 people, which is brilliant. So if we just choose traffic here, we can give it a campaign name. As you saw, mine was under Spotify traffic. And an A/B test would let us test multiple types of a post. I actually prefer to simply build a campaign and then build multiple different ad types in that campaign. But for starting out, start really simply and just have one single post that you're going to try. Now, your daily budget, 100 is probably a bit much. I found anywhere between 1 and 5 is pretty good. In dollars, it might need to go up slightly. If we did something like that for a real push, under more options, we could do run ads all the time, or you can schedule them. Perhaps you don't want ads to run on a Sunday, for example, whatever it is for your particular niche. So once we go on to continue, it's where do we want these to run and where do you want the traffic to be driven to? So let's call this ad set name. For example, I would generally give this the advert or the song names. The dynamic creative can work, but in this instance, it's best to make the post video yourself and just leave it at that. An offer can be if there's a discount, say buy an album or something like that, we can switch that on. Now, audience is really important. We need to create and build our audience here, or you can go to saved audiences if you've created anything like that. For example, if I did hospital and streaming, it filters out interests around a particular track type that I was looking to push in particular countries. I suggest having a look at my other video that explains the best way to research and find your audience and groups available on Facebook, and I'll link that video below and hopefully on the screen just now for you. Detailed targeting expansion just means if you're running low on this audience type or we're not getting the kind of response, Facebook's allowed to step in and try and improve it for you. I found it to be quite useful if you've got a small audience type. Automatic placements is recommended. However, in this case, no, we want to do manual placements. We're going for really specific platforms, and we just want it to be on Facebook and Instagram, and then we only want very specific places, so we don't want it to be Facebook newsfeed, for example, or the Instagram feed, and we're just going to go for Facebook and Instagram stories. If you want to niche down and just start with Instagram stories, I've found those to be far more lucrative anyway. And then we're going to optimize the delivery for link clicks, and these link clicks are because we're going to use our hyperfollow link from DistroKid. Here we would create our post, so we could add our media of our video and upload it, or if we have already created a post, we can go use existing post and we can find the one that we're after. So we found that, we can select it and it's going to load up here. And here is where we get an example of how it's going to look in the places it's been uploaded to. We get a demo version of the swipe up from the bottom. I was just setting up a Facebook pixel, and this is really useful because we can link this into our hyperfollow link. For example, here's my hyperfollow link for Like a Fool. If I go into customize at the top right hand corner, I can choose edit this page. And inside here, I've got all the custom links for the music, and I could embed the YouTube video as well, but I was looking to drive people to these platforms. We can also introduce a pixel. So I can have Google Ads ID, or I can have a Google Pixel that goes in here. This Pixel ID then triggers every single time that somebody clicks, and Facebook gets to know who, what, where, why, when, and how these people have been clicking on this post. So once we've got all of that set up, we can simply hit confirm, and we can start running our ad. And this is going to start pushing out to people who are in that particular audience for you. And you're able to then drive them to the platform you're after, and using your hyperfollow link, if they're interested enough to click, but perhaps the platform that you put targeting them for isn't something they use, they've got the option to find you on other social medias and the platform of their choice.
So guys, there you go. I hope that gives you an idea of how you can make use of vertical video and stories just using the Facebook platform as your primary source. And then you can repurpose those videos over to the other platforms as well, or potentially even run ads on them in the future to target new members to simply have a look at your music. As you saw, one particular post I did reached over 40,000 people, generating about 6,000 streams or so on Spotify specifically, although that ad did pan out to multiple other sources as well, and would have helped people reach the video on YouTube as well as Apple Music, which seems to be my biggest source of streams nowadays, overtaking Spotify. So I hope that's been helpful for you guys. If you've got any questions, or you would like more information, or you'd like me to do more content around this, please throw it in the comments down below. I do look forward to hearing from you, and I do my best to respond to absolutely everyone. Hope it's been helpful for you guys. I hope it's given you some ideas, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.